Hello, friends. So this week I am here to do I think it's called the Romance Reader Book Tag. I do not know who the original creator is. I saw Jessica from Peace Love Books do it. I think it's been about a year and something ago. I don't know. I'll leave her video listed down below. I don't think she mentioned who the original creator was either. So I'm sorry I can't find the original one. Question number 1 is, what age did you start to read romance novels? And for as long as I can remember, honestly, I think as soon as I graduated, as soon as I kind of moved on from a middle grade reading level into a YA, I've always gravitated towards the contemporary romance genre. I remember going to the junior high and high school libraries and checking out the contemporary romance books. So I think for as long as I've been into the genres that have romance, that's been what I've been pulled towards to read. Question number 2 is, if you could pick one hero to meet from your favorite romance novels, who would it be and why? And for that, I would pick Silas from All Broke Down, the second book in the Rescue University series by Cora Carmack. Silas is my favorite. I love him to pieces. He has such Tim Riggins from Friday Night Lights vibes, and he's gorgeous. The cover model is gorgeous, and I love him. I love him. Question number 3 is, who are your favorite romance authors and why? And I had to really narrow this down, but I picked one YA and one that's more in the new adult category. So for YA, my favorite is Sarah Dessen. I have Just Listen and Saint Anything. This is my favorite of her older books, and this is my favorite of the kind of newer books. I don't even know how to describe it. I feel such a connection to Sarah Dessen's writing and her characters, and I think I started reading, I read The Truth About Forever first. I think I was a freshman or a sophomore in high school, and I borrowed it from the library at school, and I just knew after reading that one that I was going to want to read everything she ever wrote. And now I have, and I am not so patiently waiting for the next one. For the new adult genre, I have Cora Carmack. This is her Losing It series. There's Losing It, Faking It, and Finding It. And I adore Cora Carmack to pieces. Met her last year at Book Bonanza, and she is the sweetest, most down-to-earth person. I love her. I connect to her characters with the awkwardness, and I connect to her because of the awkwardness, and I love her. And I love her writing, and I love her stories. I love the Losing It series. I love the Rescue University series. I love Roar. Cannot wait for Rage to come out. I love her to pieces. Question number 4 is, what is your favorite romance novel to reread? And I don't really keep track of if or when I reread books or how many times I reread books, because I don't do it that often. So I have no clue what would be the favorite to reread. Question number 5 is, what book would you recommend to a non-romance reader? And this really kind of depends on what type of books you're already into reading. I picked 3 that are kind of like introductions to romance from other genres. So I would say if you're just starting to get into a YA level of reading, Katie McGarry would be your best bet. This is Pushing the Limits, the first in the Pushing the Limits series. She also has the Thunder Road series that's really good, and I think these are just nice, easy introductions into the YA romance world. They're very good, but they're not whoa, I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, these are really good introductions to a YA level of romance, and Katie McGarry is an amazing writer. If you are more into a historical fiction genre, I would recommend Next Year in Havana by Chanel Cleeton. It's It's a historical fiction, but it's got a little bit of romance in it, and so it's not like in your face romance, or well, it kind of is. Like it does kind of take on the point of the romance for a little bit, but it also has a lot to do with the history of Cuba and that sort of thing. So I think that this would be a really nice introduction if you're a historical romance reader or historical fiction reader into the historical romance genre. And finally for this question, if you are a sci-fi reader, I would recommend Cinder by Marissa Meyer, the Lunar Chronicles series. It's got romance in it, but again, it's a sci-fi book. It's a sci-fi retelling of Cinderella, and the other ones have different stories that they're retellings of. So you get the like retelling aspect, you get the sci-fi aspect, but then there's romance thrown into it too, and so I think it's a really nice balance of all of those. And finally, question number 6, what is your favorite, contemporary, suspense, or historical, and why? I always gravitate towards the like contemporary romance. I don't know if it's because of how realistic it is. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes they're very dark contemporaries, and I don't know. That always seems to be what I gravitate towards. Like I have that one. I have like some that are I think you'd technically call that a dystopian. But there's romance in them, and I don't know. That's usually how I branch out into other genres, is a book that's in that genre, but it does also focus on romance. It's usually how I like spread my wings out. But yes, usually it is a contemporary romance for me all the way. So that was the romance reader book tag. I would be really interested to know any of your answers. Leave them down below, or if you've done the video, send it to me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!